Hey guys, let's get more news from Dallas Cowboys, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Dallas Cowboys CB Darren Bland should be serious DPOY candidate. The Dallas Cowboys have had notable defensive stars in the past few years. Right now, LB Micah Parsons has some of the best betting odds to win Defensive Player of the Year DPOY. However, he may not be the best defensive player on his own team this year. There is one notable player on the Dallas Cowboys who is not getting enough consideration for this award. This is CB Darren Bland. What kind of case does he have? Let's take a look. Darren Bland is tied for the NFL lead with 6 interceptions. However, what he does with those interceptions is what stands out here. Of those 6 interceptions, he has returned 4 of them for touchdowns. His 4 interception returns for touchdowns put Bland in rare company. Right now, he has tied the single-season record in this category. With 7 games remaining in the season for the Dallas Cowboys, it is not unreasonable to think Bland could break the record with a 5th interception return for a touchdown. If the interceptions were not enough, Bland has also been a shutdown corner. He has only allowed 2 catches in his last 2 games. Plus, he has one of the lowest passer ratings allowed in the NFL this season. Bland is not the only member of the Dallas Cowboys secondary to make headlines in recent years. In 2021, CB Trayvon Diggs proved just how talented he was. Diggs had 11 interceptions during the 2021 season. Unfortunately, Diggs tore his ACL early in the 2023 season and has been out ever since. Bland is not the only member of the Dallas Cowboys secondary to make headlines in recent years. In 2021, CB Trayvon Diggs proved just how talented he was. Diggs had 11 interceptions during the 2021 season. Unfortunately, Diggs tore his ACL early in the 2023 season and has been out ever since. While Bland is having a great season, he is not the only defensive player in the NFL that has stood out. The betting odds for DPOY reflect this. According to DraftKings, Bland is just 10th in betting odds to win DPOY after Week 11. So, who is his competition? Bland's own teammate, Micah Parsons, sits second in the betting odds. He has 10 sacks on the season at the time of writing. 2 big defensive stars are also ahead of him. These stars are Cleveland Browns' D.E. Myles Garrett and Pittsburgh Steelers' LBTJ Watt. Garrett leads the league in sacks, 13, and Watt has 11.5 sacks. Plus, both teams have offensive struggles and lean on their talented defensive players. All of the players mentioned are certainly worthy of DPOY consideration. However, Bland has the right to be in the mix, if not ahead of these players, in betting odds for DPOY at the time of writing. We will have to see if there is more recognition going forward if this trend continues. Dallas Cowboys QB Dak Prescott presents straightforward answer for fans losing way too much money sports betting. Stop gambling, Week 12. Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott has a message for the fans who take to social media to vent about their betting losses. Stop gambling, said Prescott, among other things, when asked about certain fans using platforms like Twitter, also known as X, to lash out about missed earnings. Prescott spoke to the media on Tuesday, and when asked about sports betting fans tweeting after a loss, he said, "I get when fans are upset. I get it. I was once there. I laugh at it because I understand it's an angry fan." Prescott shared his understanding with those fans demoralized after a loss. The Dallas Cowboys are 7-3 this season, so they have mostly made good when it comes to winning. However, Las Vegas provides sports bettors many options outside of betting winners and losers, like betting against the spread or in a parlay. That leaves Prescott and other NFL stars open to criticism if they don't win by enough or can't keep the score close enough in a loss. Prescott continued, saying, "But then there are other cases, those are the times you have to remember, he must have had his whole rent on that one. Once again, I give him grace, and I understand and say, stop gambling." Sportsbooks have plenty of tools for gamblers to bet responsibly, like bet limits and a problem gambling hotline, but that still doesn't stop some fans from exceeding their limit. Prescott's straightforward answer to the solution is to hang up the proverbial gambling shoes and walk away. Gunslinger Dak Prescott wasn't the only one to give out advice to sports bettors on Tuesday. Minnesota Vikings star Justin Jefferson took to Twitter, saying, "My health is way more important than you winning your fantasy games. It doesn't matter how many times y'all flood my DMs, direct messages, talking about me selling your team. I don't care. Jefferson remains on the sideline while nursing a hamstring injury that placed him on the injured reserve (IR). It's become commonplace for fans to go as far as direct messaging a player when they underperform per Vegas standards, a familiar theme players are not pleased with. Last season, Philadelphia Eagles running back Miles Sanders also sounded off on fans who messaged him, emphasizing how little he cares about a fan's bet slip or fantasy team. Cowboys drop new injury update on CeeDee Lamb ahead of Commanders game. The Dallas Cowboys have a short turnaround before Thanksgiving, and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb just popped up on the injury report. Lamb has been on a tear over the last 5 weeks, but his status is not certain for the November 23 clash with the Washington Commanders. During the Cowboys' 33-10 win over the Carolina Panthers, Lamb didn't have a clear injury or moment where he was injured. But, as Michael Gelkin of the Dallas Morning News pointed out on November 20, he is on the report with an ankle issue. Cowboys WR CeeDee Lamb, ankle, and RT Terrence Steele, ankle, would have been limited. SJ Ron Curse, back, and RB Rico Dowdle, ankle, wouldn't have participated if team practiced today. Status bear monitoring on a short week, leading up to Thanksgiving game versus Commanders, Gelkin posted on X. While the Commanders look very beatable after a loss to the New York Giants, Dallas definitely wants Lamb available. For one, he is, by far, the team's #1 playmaker. Secondly, Washington is 30th in the NFL for pass yards allowed per game. Lamb being limited is better than not practicing, but the short week makes it an issue. In all likelihood, fans won't know if he will play until Wednesday or game day. As mentioned, there was no clear-cut moment that Lamb injured his ankle. However, Blogging the Boys' Brandon Laurie did spot a moment where it may have happened. The play happened with just seconds remaining in the second quarter. This could be the play #Cowboys CeeDee Lamb injured his ankle on. He was slow to get up after the tackle, Laurie wrote on X. Lamb finished the drive off with a touchdown, so that was good to see. Monday was a walkthrough, we'll see how the week progresses for Lamb. Lamb barely avoids a tackle but has an awkward moment keeping his balance, and then he falls down a few steps later as he looks to cut upfield. As Laurie mentions, he was slow to get up. The clip also seems to see him testing his weight on the ankle. Lamb came back into the game and scored a touchdown, but the Cowboys kept his usage fairly limited the rest of the game. The Dallas WR caught 6 passes for 36 yards and a touchdown. With the addition of WR Brandon Cooks and the departure of RB Ezekiel Elliott and OC Kellen Moore, fans were interested in how Lamb's production would shift. It's clear that it has been a major boost to the former Oklahoma Sooner. Lamb has already crossed the 1,000-yard mark, 1,013 at the time of writing, and has 5 touchdowns. The fourth-year receiver has never come close to averaging over 100 receiving yards per game in his NFL career, but he is currently on pace to do so. If he continues at the current trajectory, he will total 125 catches for 22 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. That is all-pro material, something that has eluded Lamb since he arrived in Dallas. It could not come at a better time for the WR. The Cowboys have an option to keep him for another year, but this is essentially a contract season. He isn't just going to get a new deal, he is upping the price with each week this season. And you fan, what do you think of the CeeDee Lamb situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.